Hi, I'm Leah. I have Aspergers and ADHD, and I'm making this video in case there's anything in it that's useful to anyone else experiencing the same things, or maybe anyone that lives with somebody who's experiencing some of these things. I have my list here, which I always do with my videos just to help me to remember what I wanted to include. So this video, because I'm making a set of videos, and this video is, I've just written down 5 things that help me to have a good day. And these are all my videos are from my own personal experience and just how that feels to me. So maybe you do these things already or have different things that work, but I just thought I'd share it anyway in case it's useful. So the first one, because the best day that I can have is when I feel like real flow to the day and everything runs smoothly, and yeah, just all works really easily. So that's kind of difficult to do. So I have some things that I do to help me with that, and the first thing is my lists. I love lists, and I make I make my plans in advance because I like to know what's going to happen. I like to know what I'm going to be doing. This doesn't always work because, circumstances, things change. I do find it really difficult when things suddenly just change. And then I just have to try and do the best I can in the circumstances. But so on days where I can go by my plans, it really, really, really helps. So what I do is I have 2 lists. So point number 1 is my kind of more in advance list. So I make a list for, I don't know, maybe a week ahead, sometimes longer. And I write down all the things that are just going round and round in my head of things that I want to get done, things that are going to help me to move forward with the things that I'm trying to do. These are usually the bigger jobs rather than just day-to-day things. So I write those down on a list, and yeah, that's the first one. So this allows me, because it takes my brain a long time to process things, like a really long time. So it helps me to process those things in advance through my brain before I start to do those things. So on there might be sort of work plans, like things, because I'm an fibre artist, and sometimes I have to restock because I work in large amounts at a time, because that works best for me to hyper focus on one thing and just do a big batch of something. So when it comes to restocking things, like that's the kind of thing that would be on my in advance list. And so it might be work things that I've got on there, work plans, school activities for Elfie because she's home educated, so things that I've got ready in advance for her, things that I want to move on to with the next part of her schooling, or things that she's taken an interest in, and things that I've found out to try and help her to learn what she wants to learn and find out more about the subject she's really interested in, or projects that I really want to put in there to help her. And then so that's my kind of in advance list. And then the second one is my shorter list. So this is a daily list. I do this, or I like to do this. If I miss this, it really does make the day more difficult the next day. So I make my list the day before or the night before, and that's just for the next day. And on that list I will have like smaller things that I would do every day, like things that just need doing daily. Sorry, the wind's blowing my list about a bit. So I've got down things like, so this helps with focus, because I have trouble focusing on things. So if I've got it written down, it's like a list of instructions, my own instructions that I'm following, and that really, really helps me. So Elfie also has a list like this because she struggles with her focus as well. So all of her schoolwork, I covered that in a video about her home education. So she also has a list to help her focus and know what's coming up with her things that she's doing. It helps me to manage not feeling as overwhelmed as I would, because I just I can just keep track of things and not have them floating around in my head, the things that need doing. So this has been easier with the lockdown of not having outings, because outings, sometimes there's traffic, sometimes it throws the plans out of things, and time delays and stuff like that. So this is definitely easier on days at home, or right now with the situation. This is yeah, doing plans. So daily things. So just small jobs that I need to do, things that we keep track of, just normal everyday things that we need to do. And on there is also things around the house, things to do with cooking, cleaning, looking after the chickens, looking after the plants in the garden, like all those kind of little things. And Elfie's home education plan is on her daily plan, and then play and activities, just to make sure everything's really structured in the day. And also, whether it's me or Luke going to be doing that, so that helps to have that on there and know who's doing what in the day. And then also on my plan would be kind of like more daily jobs with work, so like orders that are coming in that need processing on more of a daily kind of level, getting orders ready and packed to go out and things like that. And maybe just little bits of things that are restocking that are quicker or something. And then also emails, phone calls that I might need to do, and things like that. So all that goes onto the daily plan. And also going back to the weekly plan or the plan in advance, I take something or some things off there depending on what I've got in the day, to structure into the daily plan so that I'm getting those things done. So like if I've got this plan in advance, then I would pick something off there, whatever feels like it needs doing first, of the bigger jobs, and then that would go into the daily plan of wherever it feels like it can be put time wise. And that helps keep those plans moving forward as well. And it also helps me to make sure I don't overload the day and put too many jobs in there. So I try and think of it, that it would work with timing and stuff. Number 3 is simple eats and drinks I've got down. So I try and make my food really, really simple and as natural as possible. That really, really helps my brain function a lot. Even though I do still struggle with a lot of things, like it's changed a huge amount, and it's really, really cleared. It feels a lot more clarity. So that changed a lot, doing things with my food and what I'm eating. But also, even when I am doing, because I'm doing that all the time, like that's just a daily routine for me. I never go back on that. I just stick to that all the time and have done for a good 10 years, I reckon. So I just make sure that doesn't slip. But I also do get affected by stress or sleep and things like that. So I do still get a lot of difficulties with things, but it just takes a lot out of the situation. So it just makes things a lot easier. So at the moment, there's quite a lot of stress with the present situation. So I'm still really feeling a lot of struggles, but it's not as much as I would be in the past with not eating things that would make it more difficult to keep my brain function clearer. So I make those really, really simple things as well. So like, say, not complicated things to make. So like at lunchtime, I would I make really simple buckwheat breads that just have buckwheat flour, salt and water, and I make those really quickly because I'm so used to doing them and I do them all the time that I'm really used to that routine, and I get those made really fast. And then I'll just put a stack of those into the freezer, and then we can just pop them in the toaster And I will share that recipe just in case anyone likes things like that. At some point I'll make a little video of the recipe. And then say at lunchtime I would sort of make something with that, and then I would make my own sort of nut cheese or something, a seed cheese or something like that, like a vegan nut cheese. I'm not completely vegan, but like I do like mostly vegan food, so that's what I make, like a sort of cheese spread. And then I pick some salad from the garden, whatever we've got, and make a salad. It's just a really simple salad with it, and just wrap it up together. So I just make a really simple meal at lunchtime. And I also get drinks and stuff ready for the day ahead. Like, so say me and Elfie often make a herbal infusion, and we'd make that in a very big jar, and that would be ready then. It sits for 6 hours. I often share those and things that I've put in them that day. But yeah, those sit for about 6 hours, and then we just drink them cold. And I also, this sounds really simple, but it really, really helps. I also have litre jars, so the big sort of Kilner jars. I have litre size ones of those, and I'll often get those ready. So I'll fill those up with water, and to keep an eye on how much I'm drinking, and also to help Elfie, she has that as well, so she has her water sort of ready in a jar and then drinks from that, and we can keep track of how much she's having and how much I'm having. And yeah, so that helps having that ready to have. I'm just checking if there's anything else. Oh, also, yeah, breakfast time I always make a smoothie, or Luke makes a smoothie. We take it in turns, make smoothies with superfoods in and things that really, really help. Yeah, and also I thought I'd mention this as well, because other people might feel like this as well. Like, not at the moment because we were all together with the lockdown, but when it wasn't the lockdown, like Luke would take Elfie out quite often and be going to do things and social things, and kind of homemade groups and outings and things like that. And if they're not in the house, like, because I have like a routine, everyone being together of family meal times, but if they're not in the house, I do actually often go into hyper focus quite often, where I will forget to drink and eat. And that might sound really, really strange to people who are not autistic, but that happens quite often. If I'm on my own, like, I will actually forget to drink and eat because I just won't feel it, because I also have alexithymia, which is like having trouble processing what I'm feeling. So quite often I won't feel hunger. I'm not saying I never feel hunger, but it's often when it's extreme, like I feel really, really hungry and then I feel it, or thirsty. So like just general kind of throughout the day of eating and drinking, yeah, I get that ready. So like to get that ready beforehand and have, the jars of water ready, that really, really helps me, because I haven't got that kind of family meal times thing to go by because they're out. So yeah, that's the next one that really helps. And as I say, that might sound really strange to someone else, but that, there will be people that will go, yeah, I totally identify with that. Because a lot of people who are autistic also forget, or not forget, but just don't feel hunger or thirst and forget to eat and drink because of it. Number 4 that really helps me is exercise, movement and dance. So yeah, movement really, really helps. It just feels like it keeps energy flowing, and yeah, it just feels really helpful. If I miss days where I'm not doing hardly any movement, I feel a massive difference, and I'm sure a lot of people do. Yeah, without the regular exercise and dance, but it's definitely to do with music, like not just doing exercise like as in just going for a run or something like that. It's definitely to do with beats, timing, music. That really, really helps me. And that one might, that might be more, there might not be many people that would feel that, or there might be loads of people that would feel that, I don't know, but I thought I'd include it because that's something that I definitely put in every day, of making sure that I have that. And just music in general. So I always have the music player charged ready because it just really helps me. I don't know why, but it just really does help me to focus better on things. And singing, I often do like regular singing because that really helps as well. I think just expressively, it really helps with expression. Yeah, so that's one that I put in there. And then number 5 is with work. So when I've got work to do, it feels really important to have an environment that helps me to focus and helps me to concentrate on my work. Oftentimes I don't need that because, like, if I'm on a day where I'm really, really, really focused on my work, then that's really easy for me. But some days when I'm just struggling to just get focused, it really helps me to create an environment that helps me to focus. So yeah, I like sensory comfort to concentrate because I struggle a lot with sensory overload. So I like to make a really clear space to work in. You know, I get all my stuff ready for work because I work at home, and I make a clear space to work in. Make sure that I've got lighting that, you know, is comfortable and what I need to do my work in. Enough warmth, because that's another thing I really struggle with. Temperature, I really feel cold a lot, but some people really feel hot a lot. So just getting a really nice temperature to work in really helps with my focus, because otherwise, if I'm feeling a sensory overload of temperature, difficulties with temperature, then it's going to make me really struggle to concentrate on what I'm doing. So yeah, warmth. And then my water jar, like I was saying earlier, I always have my water jar next to me so that it's just there and I remember because it's right next to me, and then I just make sure that I drink lots during the day. I make sure I've got comfortable clothes and check in with that, because again, with like processing feelings, like I just make sure, am I feeling any stress right now from, is my clothing uncomfortable? Just need to make sure that it's comfortable clothing to work in so that I'm as comfortable as possible. And yeah, because that one, things like that, like warmth and comfort and stuff, it's happens really often, and where I'll just suddenly feel like I've been sitting for so long feeling really, really uncomfortable, and it's been a big distraction, but I haven't realised what it is that's been a big distraction, and it's just something as simple as that. So to change that really makes everything work better. And again, that might sound just like a really, really simple thing that some people would just absolutely not understand at all, but that's really helpful to me. And then another thing is I really like nice scents. So I have this, and this is really relaxing as well, I have this lavender water. So I've got essential oils as well, but sometimes they're a bit strong, depending on the day. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, but this is really light and lovely. But it's lavender water. I've also got rose water. So those are just really nice, and I just use those. They're like a mist, so you can just spray it around yourself or next to where you're sitting, and it's just really nice and really calming, so that really helps as well. So yeah, I also try and do the same for Elfie always as well. Is like, if she's doing her schoolwork, just make sure she's got a really nice environment set up that she can work in that feels really comfortable. I ask her, like, where do you want to be? Which room do you want to be in? Or do you want to be outside, inside? What do you need to be comfortable? And she just always focuses better on her work with that, so that's something we always check in. Yeah, so that's all the things that I've got down. And some of those might be completely unrelatable and some might be relatable. I don't know, but I thought I'd share it anyway. Yeah, just in case that's helpful to anyone. So yeah, doing this video right now on 5 things that help. I'm doing these things right now to help, but with the present situation and some of the things that my brain's still really processing, because it's really slow to process stuff, I'm still having a lot of difficulties. So I probably seem quite unfocused just doing this about things that help me focus, but I am actually a lot more focused than I would be if I wasn't doing those things. So yeah, I'm not normally as unfocused as this, but it's just, yeah, that overload of right now and everything. But these are the things that are helping me quite a lot. So yeah, thanks. Bye.